Howdy folks, and welcome back to World of Warships with Rear Admiral Jingles. So, Flambass sent me another replay last week, and generally, whenever I feature one of Flambass's games here on the channel, it's usually either something spectacular or something hilarious. Or something spectacular and hilarious at the same time, like taking a light cruiser down the central channel in Two Brothers and baiting the entire enemy team and trying to kill you while you instead kill them. This is not that kind of replay. It is remarkable, but for completely different reasons. In order to set the scene so you can appreciate what it is you're actually looking at here, we're going to have to give you some background information. This took place on Flambass's live stream last week, in his pursuit of reaching rank 1 in ranked battles. At this point, he just won 10 games in a row, and he needed one more win to get rank 1. Now at this point I just want to draw your attention to chat, because the Shimakaze on the team has come up with a plan, and it doesn't really matter whether it's a particularly good or a particularly bad plan. If you're playing in ranked battles and you have some kind of plan and the team pretty much follows that plan, you already have an advantage over the enemy team. The Shimakaze is warning everybody, do not head for capture point Charlie. He's going to flood it with torpedoes. Concentrate on Alpha and Bravo. The Yueyang on the team, however, has other ideas. You can just see him creeping into view on the left side of the screen. No, I'm going to go for Charlie, he says. But then he appears to change his mind and then starts asking the team what the plan is. Well, they just told you what the plan was. Stay away from Charlie, the Shimakaze is going to flood it with torpedoes, and head for A and B instead. And fair play to the Yueyang at this point, he does appear to be going along with what the team have basically agreed the plan should be. At this point I'm going to digress slightly. I need to give you an example to contrast with what you're about to see happen. I've actually been playing a lot of World of Warships this week. I've been divisioning up with Rita, who's been streaming World of Warships nearly every day. She's really getting into the game lately. The thing is, she hasn't actually played World of Warships since the game was in closed beta, so she doesn't really know what she was doing. Well, she didn't, but she is learning quite quickly. And even though she has enough free experience stockpiled, or enough experience that could be converted into free experience on the various ships that she has to easily free XP her way to a tier 10 ship of choice, she's deliberately not doing that so she can actually learn how to play as she works her way up the tiers. She still has a couple of things to learn about the dangers of firing torpedoes from behind friendly ships. Not that I hold grudges or anything, but, you know, like I say, it's a learning process, and it's important that you do actually learn so that you're not just a massive noob and a burden to your team when you do find yourself at the controls of a tier 10 ship. And this of course applies equally to people who are new to the game and go out and buy themselves tier 8 premiums. Learn how to play before you commit yourself to higher tier gameplay, because you're certainly not doing your team any favours, and you're not going to be doing yourself any favours either, because you're going to suck and you won't have any fun. Bear that in mind while we take a closer look, while Flambass dodges incoming fire, at what this Yueyang is doing. We're switching over to the perspective of the enemy team here to get a close-up view of the action. This replay was actually submitted by the Worcester on the enemy team, so thank you very much. Just in case anybody doesn't fully grasp the stupidity of what this Yueyang is doing, because hey, maybe you don't actually play World of Warships. The Yueyang is the tier 10 Pan-Asian destroyer, and what makes the Pan-Asian destroyers unique is they come equipped with deep water torpedoes, which are very stealthy, they hit very hard, but they can only hit cruisers, battleships and aircraft carriers. They cannot hit destroyers because destroyers have too shallow a keel for the torpedoes to impact, they just pass underneath them. I have poked fun at Pan-Asian destroyer captains in other videos where they seemingly attempt to torpedo destroyers, and what has happened in the past is the comments section of the video leaps to the defense of the Pan-Asian destroyer captain, claiming that he was merely trying to hit ships behind the destroyer in question, or he was just firing off the torpedoes in an effort to scare the destroyer in question. Well, that is not the case here. He's there in chat complaining that his torps didn't hit him. Yes, really. How is it possible I mean, you can understand somebody in a Tier 2 Pan-Asian destroyer not understanding the concept of how deep water torpedoes work and what targets they can and can't hit. Because in a Tier 2 Pan-Asian destroyer, it's the first time you've used them. But this is a Tier 10. How can you possibly have ground your way to the Yueyang, the pinnacle of the Pan-Asian destroyer line, and still not know that your torpedoes can't hit destroyers? Well, it turns out... it turns out that people have done some digging. And that was the third game that the Yueyang captain had played in Pan-Asian destroyers. He free XP'd his way through Tier 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. Played 2 games in the Chungmu. The Tier 9 Pan-Asian destroyer decided he probably didn't like it very much. Free XP'd his way to the Tier 10, and this was his first game. It's not big, it's not hard, and it's not clever. Learn how to play the ships that you're going to play, and you won't end up looking like a complete tit on YouTube. He's now there in chat complaining that the team didn't support him when he YOLO'd into a crossfire from 5 enemy ships and tried to torpedo a Tier 10 German destroyer. Yeah. I don't think you can pin that one on your team. I mean, try as you might, I think you're just going to have to bite the bullet on that one, suck it up and admit that you screwed up and it was your fault. And hopefully learn something from it. There's the Z52. Okay, Flambas has him lit up with radar while he's trying to cap. So Flambas is going to take some punishment here because the Z52 does have a nasty bite. But look at this. Yeah, you can't hide from radar in smoke, sunshine. I'm not sure you understand how radar works. I don't know. You have to try to give people the benefit of the doubt. Maybe it was a panic move. He thought, oh, I'm spotted. Pop smoke. Or maybe he realised he was dead and he thought, the Harugamo that's coming into the cap with me can use the smoke screen. Oh crap, it's radar. Okay, maybe not. Flambas has taken a fair amount of damage from that Harugamo, however. Brand new Japanese Tier 10 destroyer. Very, very dangerous guns. The rate of fire is absolutely ridiculous. And Flambas is in quite a bit of trouble here. He's spotted by the Zhao, and he took a load of high explosive damage through the superstructure. Harugamo torpedoes. I think those are the Zhao's torpedoes. The fact that we can see them from that distance indicates that they're not the Yueyang's torpedoes, because they'd probably only be starting to become visible around about now. Yes, there is also a surviving Yueyang on the enemy team. And he does pretty well. So, torpedoes avoided. He's gone undetected. He managed to spot both sets of torpedoes for the rest of his team, who have taken steps to avoid them, so that's all good. Unfortunately, that enemy Harugamo is still in Bravo and capping it. The enemy team hold Alpha. Flambas's team hold Charlie, which is surprising. They weren't supposed to actually try to cap it. The Shimakaze was going to flood it with torpedoes, but hey, the opportunity obviously arose, so they took it. Meanwhile, the Harugamo in the cap has been spotted. That may be radar from the surviving friendly Yueyang. Now that radar does not last a long time, so if we're going to sink this guy, it's going to have to be fast. But he did take a significant beating from Flambas while he was moving into that position, so he was on low enough health that the team were actually able to finish him off. And now, the capture of Bravo has been arrested, and the surviving friendly Yueyang is actually starting to flip Alpha, so it's all good. The team have a points lead. They've sunk 2 destroyers for the loss of 1 of their own. They hold Charlie, nobody holds Bravo, and they're in the process of flipping Alpha. Now at this point, while Flambas is repositioning to behind another island, I just want to draw your attention to the top of the screen where you may see some information that you're not entirely familiar with. This is part of the official World of Warships mod pack. That timer that's up there, counting down and approaching 13 minutes, is telling us that that's how long Flambas's team have to win based on the number of ships that have sunk and the number of caps that they control. And watch how it changes when Alpha flips. 6 minutes and 25 seconds now. So what that information is telling us is that if the state of this match doesn't change from this point forward, if no further ships on either side get sunk, and none of the caps get flipped, Flambass's team is going to win in just over 6 minutes. Okay? Bear that in mind for later, because it's going to be quite important. Okay, Flambass is spotted. There's that Zhao again. Yeah, and that was a fair old amount of high explosive damage straight into the superstructure. There's the enemy Yueyang. Now if they can kill that guy, as well as giving them extra points, it's going to rob the enemy team of a vital scout. That's the last surviving destroyer on the enemy team. And he's hit, but not nearly enough. Flambass is radared. That will be the enemy Worcester, who I don't think can actually hit him in this position. Flambass is a master of the noble art of making the island your waifu. He used to play Gearings in competitive for Omni. And there's the enemy Worcester, pretty much doing exactly the same thing, nestling in behind the island where he's safe and using his radar for the team. Looks like the friendly Yueyang is attracting a lot of attention. That's not good. Flambass, of course, is pinned down behind this island as long as that radar's up. He can't really afford to move, or the Zhao's going to have him. And we don't know where the enemy Yueyang went. Okay, Worcester's radar has expired. He's now undetected, although it might prove to be just a little bit too late for the Yueyang, who's trying to get out of there. But while under the radar, the Worcester managed to set a fire on him that he couldn't do anything about. And so they've lost the Yueyang, and that's obviously reset the progress of the timer at the top. They were at around about 4.5 minutes remaining until they'd won, and now it's back up to over 5 minutes. Flambass has got the broadside of the Zhao. It's kind of risky, because that enemy Worcester is down there as well, but he takes the shot. Instantly spotted, of course, and instantly targeted by multiple enemies. Those are the Yueyang's torpedoes. And they were fired blind. They were actually launched long before Flambass was spotted after firing at the Zhao. So that's a bit of a Hail Mary from the Yueyang, and while they don't hit, they do force Flambass to turn to avoid them, which means he's now presenting, or was presenting, a perfect broadside target to the enemy Worcester, who loaded the armor piercing. And, oh no, shots incoming from just about everybody. Yeah. He has gone undetected, but that enemy Worcester is proving to be remarkably accurate with his blind fire. If Flambass can just keep going... Oh no, he's been spotted. He's hard detected. That has to be the enemy Yueyang. And he's wisely holding his fire and just keeping Flambass lit up for what appears to be most of the enemy team shooting at him. Oh, hang on a second. Wait, no. There he is. It looks like the temptation to steal the kill was too strong. Flambass desperately trying to sink the Yueyang before he dies, because he knows there's just no way he's going to survive this. Not caught in a crossfire like this. And, yeah, close, but no cigar. The enemy Worcester claims the kill. And with Flambass dead, the Yueyang is now holding his fire to go undetected, while continuing to spot this Hindenburg and keep him lit up for the rest of his team. That Yueyang is now in a very, very powerful position. He's in a position to spot most of Flambass's team, and he's managed to get the Hindenburg killed. And if he's smart, he's going to do it without giving his position away. It's time for some YOLO action from Gevlon here in the Shimakaze, the guy that came up with the team plan right at the start of the game. He's managed to avoid the Zhao torpedoes, I think, in smoke. He's torpedoing the Yamato, and we're not seeing any fire from the Yamato secondaries, which means that the Shimakaze is unspotted. For the moment, safe inside the smoke screen, and he is definitely going to kill this Yamato. However, the Worcester still has radar, and it's probably about to come off cooldown. A couple of shots come out there from the Yamato before he dies. Doesn't necessarily mean the Shimakaze was spotted. Doesn't necessarily mean that the Worcester has used his radar. He could have just been thinking, well, I'm about to eat torpedoes, I may as well fire blind into the smoke. But the Worcester's radar is definitely up now, because that Zhao is about to make a reappearance, and the Shimakaze, I believe, is now spotted. Those shots from the Zhao that's just appeared were far too accurate. The Worcester is definitely now used his radar. The Shimakaze is definitely spotted and is now about to die. Yep, shots coming in from the other side, from the Worcester as well. Zhao torpedoes, avoided by the Großer Kurfürst. Shots coming in from the Worcester, just missed the Großer Kurfürst. And there's the deep water torpedoes from the enemy Yueyang, who's still in this very powerful position up here to the north somewhere, attempting to torpedo the Zhao, while at the same time lighting him up for the enemy Zhao and our friend in the Worcester. Now this is not a good position to be in. And the Zhao makes the decision. He knows he's probably going to die. There's no way he's going to survive this. Not hard spotted and detected by a stealth Yueyang, while being bombarded by 2 enemy tier 10 cruisers. So he makes the decision to trade. He's trying to kill that enemy Zhao. He's focusing on him. He's ignoring the Worcester. He's accepted the fact that he's almost certainly going to die here. But he's going to keep the points neutral by trading his life for the enemy Zhao. And he's nearly got him. He's only got his rear turret firing. Come on. One more salvo. Is he going to get him? Final salvo out. Yes, he has got him. Shots still coming in from the Worcester. Shots coming in from the enemy Zhao. Managed to get the shots away before he died. Was never going to survive that one. He was being hard spotted by the Yueyang. That just leaves this Großer Kurfürst left alive on Flambass's team. And he is, of course, spotted. However, even though he's the last ship left alive, the team have so many points from controlling so many caps for so long, they're up to nearly 800 points. And this Großer Kurfürst only has to stay alive for the next 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Now, to be completely fair to this Großer Kurfürst, he doesn't necessarily know that he has to stay alive for precisely 2 minutes and 20 seconds in order to win this game. And even if that were the case, there's no guarantee that the enemy team, because there's 2 of them, aren't going to flip Alpha and Bravo. And he doesn't necessarily want to hang around in Alpha and Bravo because there's a Yueyang out there. And deep water torpedoes are very, very scary if they're fired at the correct target. However, it's actually the case that Flambass's team have so many points, they're at over 850 now, and there is so little time remaining, that even if the enemy team were to flip A and B while retaining control of C, there still isn't enough time for them to beat the points lead that Flambass's team has accrued. So, quite literally, the only thing this Großer Kurfürst has to do in order to win the game is to run away. So what's he doing? Don't do that. You're going to get torpedoed. Why are you heading toward the Worcester? You're obviously spotted. I don't know if it's because the Worcester is using his radar again, or because the Yueyang can actually see you because he sneaked around to the other side of the map. He certainly had the time to do it, but this is not the way to win. I mean, what are you doing? Less than 1 minute. That's all he has to do. Stay alive for less than 1 minute, providing the Yueyang doesn't flip A or B. And if the Yueyang does start flipping A or B, it means the Großer Oh, the Yueyang has started flipping A and B. So you know exactly where he is. He's over there. He can't be anywhere else. Stop! Stop moving forward! What is wrong with you? Listen to your team. Stop! And he runs aground. I don't know if he did that on purpose. Let's be generous and say that he did, because that is the only thing that saves him from instant death. Did you see how close those torpedoes were? And that's only one torpedo launcher, okay? The Yueyang has more than one. The Yueyang has now flipped A and B. All 3 caps are under control of the enemy team. In order to get any more points, this Großer Kurfürst has to sink something, but he doesn't need to. There's only a minute of the game left. There is no way the enemy team can accumulate enough points to beat 954 points in the time remaining. They must kill the Großer Kurfürst to win. What are you doing? Why are you moving forward? You saw what just happened. What is wrong with this guy? I'll give you my best guess as to what exactly is happening here. This Großer Kurfürst isn't playing to win. He's playing to save his star. You see, you advance through the ranks in ranked battles by earning stars for winning, but the player with the most experience on the losing team doesn't lose a star for losing. And you see it happen all the time in ranked. As soon as it looks like your team might be losing, people abandon all pretense of teamwork and they just try to be the person at the top of the losing team scoreboard. And that's exactly what this Großer Kurfürst is trying to do. If only he knew that he didn't have to do it. He gets the kill on the Yueyang, but he's burning, he's dead, with less than 10 seconds to go. He's thrown the game. Guaranteed win. All he had to do was nothing, and he couldn't even do that properly because he was so desperate to finish at the top of the losing team's scoreboard. And unfortunately for Flambas, he got his wish. Remember, prior to this game, Flambas had just won 10 games in a row, and he needed one more win to achieve rank 1. And he not only didn't get rank 1, he actually lost a star. Thanks to that guy in the Großer Kurfürst. On a scale of 1 to the Dead Sea, just exactly how salty do you think Flambas was as a result of this game? So salty, in fact, that I could sink a mine shaft into him and mine enough salt that I could afford to close the salt mines down for the best part of the next 3 years. So we're going to end today's video by posing a question to you guys, and along the way ripping off Klaus Kellerman, by asking just who was the biggest loser. Was it the Großer Kurfürst, who was so determined to be the biggest loser that he threw away a guaranteed win? Or was it the Yueyang captain, who had no idea how to Yueyang because he free XP'd his way to tier 10? Or was it in fact the great Flambino himself, for getting all the way to rank 2 and then losing a star to these clowns? You be the judge. Let us know in the comments, because that is it for today's World of Warships video. My apologies to Klaus Kellerman for ripping off his biggest loser idea, but hey, if it's funny once, it's funny every time. Hope you enjoyed today's video. My commiserations to Flambas, and as always, take care, and I'll catch you next time.